Hello, I'm Cole Sanford. I'm a cash crop product specialist for the Northeast region of the U.S. And today we're showing the first public unveiling in North America of the CR10. CR10 is the next generation chassis that follows along from the CR11 that we showed earlier this year in the North American marketplace, so it carries a lot of the same technology. Really, this was a combine built from a clean sheet of paper. It's a next generation unit, and the design teams came up with all their innovations and all those sorts of things with the idea of decreasing the total cost of harvesting. All right, so we're going to take a look at the Residue system on how it's equipped on this particular model, the CR10. We will take a look, and as this gearbox that I'm pointing at right here, this combine is equipped as an option with the integrated chopper. So this is using the chopper in the place of where the beater would be. Then the material comes off the rotor, gets chopped with the counter knife bank, and gets projected over top and follows right through here, and then comes down into the impellers on our IntelliSpread system that you see here. So this is an option. We can also option with the high hood mount chopping system, which is what we have seen quite a bit in some of our footage so far. But what that does is it replaces that chopper and that gearbox system and puts a chopper and gearbox system right here. And that chopper will rotate in this manner, clockwise, because the material comes over top of it and it shoots down into the impellers and then comes out of the machine. This particular setup is capable of 50-foot spread. When we look at the high hood mount chopper system, that is capable of 60-foot spread. So when we get to the larger headers, we start to see that in some of the markets. You can equip the machine either way as a factory-only option. So you have to pick at the factory level which way you want to go. The really unique system about either of the two chopping systems is IntelliSpread. And IntelliSpread is the heart of it is this sensor right here. So there's one on both sides, and those are radar sensors. So they're pretty interesting. What they're doing is sensing the result of the residue spread. So if we have a crosswind, like we kind of do today, the machine will notice that because the radar sees that the chaff only went so far. We type in the header width, so in this case 50 foot, and it knows, hey, the chaff is only going 45. So what is it going to do? Well, it's going to increase the RPM of this impeller on this side and shoot the material further against the wind to get it to that true 50-foot spread. And that same thing happens on the other side. So that's what we do to get the material out the side of the machine. When we come to the back half of the machine, though, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. And this is kind of a unique setup. The folks in innovation and design, man, you give them enough time, they can come up with some wild stuff, and it works. It's really neat. So follow along here. We have this rotating shaft right here. It's hydraulically driven, and it's controlled into this link arm. And what that link arm is controlled to is our back panel. The back panel then pivots about this point right here, or it oscillates. So think of like maybe a windshield wiper. It goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth at a decent frequency. And as you can see right now, my hand width, so it's quite a bit of width here. If we come to this other side, it's pretty tight. This is the opening and closing of the door, so to speak, so that material will come directly behind the machine and get our coverage in the center of the combine. It's one of the really cool, neatest little features, you know, that you wouldn't think about, and then you see it and you're like, aha. You have that aha moment with the Residue system. But it's a fantastic setup and gives you clean access to everything. And of course, to get access into the cleaning shoe, we've got a button bank here on the side, and this whole assembly that I just described lifts up out of the way. We lock it in position, and then we can get into the cleaning shoe. This is probably the biggest impact to the machine because it's the easiest thing to see on a demonstration. The first time I was with one of the machines, that was the first thing I noticed was the widespread and how how great of a job it did with spreading. So it's probably one of the easiest things to have an impact to see. Then you get into the heart of the machine and talk about the near zero loss, the high capacity, and then staying in the cab, right, to keep the uptime. So this allows a lot of nice things to happen for the harvest. If you want to learn more about the machine, search New Holland Agriculture on any of the social media channels, as well as go to newholland.com/NA, and that's where you can find your facing dealer, and you can contact them, and you never know, you might even get a product specialist to come out on the visit to talk shop about the new CR10 11. So real excited about what we have, and thank you very much.